measurement. Which that can's just about empty. And then he will pour in the black powder. At that point, he will then twist the top. Now, he will now take a Mark-a-Lot and he's going to put an X. This denotes the bottom of the charge that has the heavier foil. This is the end that is inserted first into the muzzle. Now, when he was folding the front in, he was folding it from the inside first. Now, another means would be to take a hold and twist it into a twist type and then fold the twist over. But this is the proper procedure of how to make a powder charge. Okay, yep.
Don't get any more water, it's just going to dump it out. Stop.
Battery! Fire by battery! Fire! Secure your feet!
Boom!
We're here today and now I'm going to show you how to make a powder charge for the bigger bore guns. The problem that we have is with the smaller charges, if they end up small like this, after they make the charge, then they have a tendency to flip-flop down the barrel when you're making the charge. So what we want to do is make a charge and put a filler in it that will be suitable to make the charge longer. And what we have is a large, long foil, aluminum foil that we're going to use, just like we showed you before. Again, we're going to be using Cannon grade powder. And then we have our pattern here that we're going to use to make the powder charge. And we've got two items that we're going to use for filler. We can either use flour that you find at your supermarket or sawdust. Either one would be appropriate. If you use sawdust, you make sure you want to sift it to make sure there's no foreign objects that could cause damage to somebody. So you want to make sure it's just a fine grade of sawdust. So what we'll do first is get our aluminum foil ready. Again, we're going to fold this like so. Again, what this does, this makes it a heavy several layers of where you're going to be at the bottom where your powder is going to be. Now, Fred, if you'll come around here and show the technique. This mallet, by the way, is a tapered mallet. It's actually a little bit thinner in diameter, this here, than it is here, so that when we pull it out, it'll be easy to pull out. Again, it's got a hole through the middle, so it will not suck air and collapse your charge that you're making. Now we're going to start rolling. As we roll, we're just going to tuck this in like this, like so. And as we keep rolling, we're still going to be tucking. worry about how good it looks down here. You're going to smash it down and seal it anyway. You want to make sure that everything's covered, though. You don't want to leave any gaps. After you get it down there, you want to mash it down so that it's sealed. You might even want to put it down on some hard surface. And then, as you can see, because it's papered, it's just sliding out real easy. And then there's your chamber, your charge. Now what we're going to do now is put the powder in. We're adding the cannon grade powder. And with the 12-pound Napoleon with the bore of 4.62, we normally use as a regular charge a full pound of powder. So now we've got our powder in. The next thing I've done is I've taken a piece of paper and I've cut circles. Matter of fact, I use this as a diagram and just cut around it. We're going to place this inside, and what this will do, this will separate the powder from the flour that we're going to use. Now the flour, you can take a regular mixer or a cup and use a predetermined amount. Today we're just going to put some flour in here, just as a filler. Now we've got a charge that's about this wide. I think I'd like to maybe add a little bit more. Bring it up a little bit more. Now in the other procedure we showed you, we actually took the inside flaps and tucked them in. I'm going to show you the other part now that we can do. We can now grab a hold of this like so, and then twist this around, and then twist it over like that. Now you have a powder charge that is going to be close to the diameter of the bore, and it will not flip-flop around. Now the next thing that you will do is just like before. You will take your mark slot, you will make your X across the bottom to determine that this is the end that's got the powder. And this is very important when you're using two types of fillers, one powder and one flour sawdust, because you want to make sure that X is on here so that you know that you're going to put this in the barrel first. Because if you don't have that X, you might forget. Someone might put it in this way, and then where your vent is, they're going to hit nothing but flour or sawdust. So you want to make sure that this X is on the back. And it also doesn't hurt to take some masking tape and put a piece of masking tape around here and write on it exactly what is in this charge. In other words, you would write 1 pound of cannon grade powder and say 1 pound of flour or 1 pound of sawdust, whatever you used in here. So that is how we make your charge for your big bore guns. Next, I'm going to show you how to make a sponge for your rammers. Now what we've done, we've gone to the piece goods store and bought just a synthetic lamb's wool material, and we've just trimmed the edges and then sewed it up here on one side. Now there's various methods in making sponges.